Good old Philadelphia. I literally just got back from a mountain bike ride through the woods, and the trail's 15 minutes away in a city that's 1.5 million people. It's crazy. And all 1.5 million people have to live somewhere. Hey guys, welcome to the Hoan Zone, where we help you multiply the assets you own. Since leaving my 9-to-5, I've been investing in real estate for the last 11 years. And most of my investing has happened in Philadelphia. But before we go into the topics that I'm going to be telling you guys about, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to let you know about the videos that come up, because I'm going to be releasing new videos every Monday and Wednesday to help you guys become better investors. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys about how I take advantage of the Philadelphia market and how I invest my own money into deals. It turns out, research says, that Philadelphia is historically low when it comes to prices for properties to rent or buy. So how do you take advantage of that? Well, you just buy more because it's so cheap. And what's important about that is you want to look at the ratio between how much the rents are going for and how much houses are selling for. If you have a good ratio where the rents are a significant portion, it's very close to how much a house costs, then that means that you're going to have a good ROI. In some cities, houses are so expensive compared to the rent that you're never going to be able to cash flow. So in Philadelphia, what's great is you're able to buy properties and rent them out and make significant margin. Also, Philadelphia is one of the oldest cities in the country, which means that the homeowners have lived there for a very long time. A lot of times you can buy properties from people who have lived in their house for the last 30 to 60 years. I've had situations where sellers tell me, oh, I bought the house 30 years ago for $20,000, and today I'll sell it to you for $40,000, double what I made. And houses on that block, ARVs are maybe $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. When you're buying a property from somebody, they're not necessarily a sophisticated real estate person. And if you meet someone like that, you get to give them what they want, and then you get what you want in return. One of the main reasons why Philadelphia housing is so cheap is because the population is low income. A majority of Philadelphia is very low in terms of median income. And how I take advantage of that is I work with the government and I use programs like Section 8. A lot of my programs, or a lot of my properties, have a Section 8 program person within the property. This way, my rent is guaranteed as long as my property is safe for the tenant to inhabit, and as long as the tenant keeps up with their paperwork. Now, I know what a lot of people think. They're like, oh, I don't want to do Section 8. They're going to ruin my property. They're going to mess everything up. They're going to beat it up. It turns out, from my own experience, that my Section 8 tenants often are cleaner and nicer than my market rate tenants. And here's the other crazy thing. Sometimes they pay in full for the rest of the year. I just had that happen yesterday. A tenant paid me for the whole rest of the year, and that's 8 months. For those who don't know how Section 8 works, Section 8 provides rent for your place, but they may not prevent the whole entire thing. There is a tenant portion and then the Section 8 portion. The tenant is responsible for sending you that money. And like I was saying, my tenant yesterday sent her portion up front for the whole year. There's a lot of nuances to make you not like Philadelphia investing, like the red tape that the government puts you through, like when you're having to go down to L&I, that's license and inspection. Things like that make investing in Philadelphia kind of suck, to be honest. But there's a lot of good things as well. One of those things is that the property taxes are super low as well. So you have low rents, low values for the houses, and then you have low property taxes. So your holding costs are super low. But Philadelphia is experiencing a boom in prices. And what that means is I've been able to buy all of these properties really cheap, just hang on to them, and then they're worth a ton more. So my net worth just keeps on going up. The other really cool thing about Philadelphia, like I mentioned earlier, it's 1.5 million people. That's a lot of people and a lot of houses. There are opportunities everywhere. I talk to some real estate investors and they live in little towns where there's 70,000 people. When there's 70,000 people, there's not that many houses. Now, I mean, it's still a significant amount. And if you own 10, 20, 30 properties, that's a lot. But you're going to have to compete with other people who are all fighting for that small pie. Here in Philadelphia, the pie's humongous. When I started investing in real estate, I came out of nowhere, and I've been able to extract millions of dollars of real estate out of the market, and nobody noticed. That means you can do the same. You can come here, you can buy properties, and I will never notice. I won't think that, oh my gosh, the market's so competitive. Oh, there's no deals. Never think that, because the city's so big. Things are always happening. People are dying. They're getting divorced. They're getting sick. And so they have to sell properties. That is the opportunity for you. There's so many people in here. Stuff just keeps moving. People are always in need for money, and you could be that person, that investor, to come in and say, hey, I'll gladly buy your house. Here's the other thing that happens. There are other investors who buy in Philadelphia. Maybe they watched my show. No, they've bought years ago, and they've amassed a portfolio of 20, 30, 50, 100 properties, and now they're in their 70s. And they're like, hey, I'm ready to get out of this business. And so they'll gladly sell you their portfolio. Now, you may not need the whole thing, but what you can do is you can create a mastermind or join a mastermind. And then you can say, hey, everybody, I got this seller. He's looking to sell his portfolio, and he's willing to sell it to us cheaper if we buy the whole thing. It makes it easy. Otherwise, he's going to have to sell it one by one to a bunch of different people, and that's a headache. If he can just go to you and say, hey, you'll buy my portfolio? Fantastic. I'll give it all to you for a discount. And now you have to just go out there and find all of the people to help you take down that portfolio. The other really neat thing about Philadelphia is that everything is so tight, and that if you go 1 block or 2 blocks or 3 blocks away, it's a completely different neighborhood, which means that when you go to value a property, it's kind of tough. If you have a property on block A and there's another property on block, say, C or D, 3 blocks, 4 blocks away, that may still be used as a comp when you're going to sell the property or when you're going to go refinance. An appraiser from out of town is going to come in and say, okay, well, that house is comparable because it's nearby, even though it's a completely different neighborhood, completely different feel, and a completely different price point. Big trick about learning how to invest in real estate is knowing those neighborhoods, though. You have to become a master of the neighborhoods, because again, 2 blocks this way, 2 blocks that way, and you're in a completely different neighborhood, different field, different tenant types, and you may not want to be in that neighborhood. Some neighborhoods are really dangerous, and they're right here, and then over here you have $1 million homes, and it's like, why do the people who buy $1 million homes live next to the blocks that the houses are selling for $50,000? It's crazy, but it happens. It happens all over Philadelphia. So what happens then is you buy the $50,000 property and you wait, and then this $1 million area spreads and you get rich. Other people like to do what's called land banking. They'll just buy properties, land where a property used to be, because Philadelphia is so old, there was a property everywhere. Every square inch of Philadelphia was built up. Then the houses get dilapidated and they get knocked down. You can buy the land and just sit on it and just wait. Just wait for that spread. And then when the time is right, you either sell the land to somebody who wants to develop on the land, or you develop on the land yourself. It's up to you based on what it is that you like to do as a real estate investor. Some people don't like construction. Some people definitely don't like new construction, but you got options. You got the land, you can sell it to the developer, you can build on it yourself. It's up to you. A lot of people like to do that land banking though. Philadelphia also has a lot of really great colleges, and that draws a lot of people into the city. And then in addition to the colleges, we have a lot of really good healthcare, a lot of good hospitals, a lot of doctors and nurses come into the city as well. It feels as if the city is going to continue to grow because of the education, because of the healthcare. And if you're deciding to invest your money into the city, it's going to be a good investment for the years to come, because people are going to continue to get sick and people are going to continue to want to go to college. For now, I don't know if that's going to change, but the colleges within Philadelphia, the healthcare within Philadelphia, it's top notch, and people want to be close to that. And some of the really good colleges, like the University of Penn and Drexel and the University of the Sciences, they're in West Philadelphia. And all around West Philadelphia are really, really cheap properties. The colleges are going to attract people, and then they're going to attract really good professors who aren't going to want to live really far away. The areas around the colleges are already expensive. So what you do is you buy the area right next to the expensive college area, and then that spreads, just like that example I was saying earlier. Philadelphia is a really neat city because we have really low income people, and then we have really rich people, and everything in between. Your job is just to master the nuances of both sides and the middle to find the opportunities that will absolutely change your life. It doesn't take that much in order for you to live a completely different lifestyle. If you're able to come to Philadelphia, and let's say you bought 10 properties, each property is worth $100,000. You bought 10 of them. That's $1 million worth of property. And because the properties around might be more expensive and the appraiser might give you that comp, you can refinance all your money back out. You own $1 million worth of property, and voila, you're cash flowing. You got $1 million worth of properties in 15, 20, 30 years. They're all paid off. That's your retirement account. That $1 million worth of property is now free and clear. But in 30 years from now, that $1 million worth of property is probably going to be worth, I don't know, 4, 5 million, 10 million. What's your 401k doing? Now, as I become a better real estate investor, I am looking outside of Philadelphia. I'm investing in North Carolina, and then I'm also exploring other markets. And it's just to diversify my portfolio. It's not that I don't want to invest in Philadelphia anymore. It's just that I want to see what else is out there. There's different kinds of investments. My North Carolina investments are larger apartment buildings. Here in Philadelphia, it's my smaller singles and smaller multifamilies. It's just what it is. But I am going to continue to invest in Philadelphia as long as the things that I mentioned in this video are going to continue. The question is, are you going to invest in Philadelphia? Why or why not? What's holding you back? If you need any help at all with investing in Philadelphia, go to hoanzone.com. I have different courses to teach you how to get started investing, and I am creating a community. And within that community, you can ask questions and we can all share in resources so that you can become a better real estate investor. But again, go check out hoanzone.com. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button. And if you know anybody interested in investing in Philadelphia, hit that share button and send it to them. Until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video.